And action. This is all about Martin's story. So it's Martin being kidnapped at 6 years old, and then instead of jumping forward like we did in the first film 10 years later to when he's more of an adult, this goes 5 years to where he's transforms from a normal kid into what he becomes in the first film. And it really dives into the psychology and the psychosis of what creates a serial killer, what made Martin what he is.
And it explores that idea that, you know, is it environment that changes somebody, or is it something, you know, inherent in the person on its own that makes them a certain way?
The lead character, Allison, who's her parents die, and so she's forced to go live with her uncle in Pennsylvania. Her uncle happens to live in the same area that Graham Sutter's place is. She's precariously close to these murders that are taking place that nobody's aware of.
At that point, you have her discover Martin as a young boy. Her awareness of his existence in what appears to be an unhospitable environment causes her to look into why he's there, and that's how they become involved, interacting with each other.
Her character, being an outsider, she comes in, and because she's not so desensitized to her surroundings, notices there's something not right, and that initiates her wanting to investigate it further and further until she finally kind of, you know, goes in and disturbs the hornet's nest, and it comes out and destroys everything close to her.
They all come in contact with Graham Sutter, who is a central character in this and was only a reference character really in the first film.
One of the interesting things about Sutter is he's able to exist in a normal world and walk among us with nobody really recognizing that, you know, there's something out of the ordinary, because he's just like you or me, you know, and that's what's kind of sinister about it and scary about it, is that he can just blend in.
He is the guy that in the prequel to Malevolence is the one who's responsible basically for making Martin become who he becomes. It's a dysfunctional legacy that gets passed along from Graham's father to him, as we learn in this movie. But this also then connects, yeah, to Malevolence, in that you see that my training or my raising, my upbringing of Martin makes him become who he becomes then.
Sutter has certain psychological weapons that he uses to keep Martin where he is. Martin certainly has the ability to leave, but the mental torture that he goes through is, I equate it to the Helsinki syndrome, because it's almost like he's a prisoner and yet he's not. He's kind of a prisoner in his mind. I was certainly inspired by stories of girls who are kidnapped and kept as slaves in closets and have every opportunity to just walk away, and yet they don't. I don't want to try to put you in a box. I just want to kind of wind you up and let you go.
Well, that's good. I feel good. I feel very comfortable with that.
Good.
And then if you know anything you want to change, that's what we're there to play with.
Cool.
I think.
Cool.
You know.
We're shooting the recreation, really, of the scenes that open the original film. Martin's first experience seeing what Graham Sutter does.
Hair and Sutter's shoulder, and then we're good to go. Here we go, Chase.
Daylight and set. there's a degree of sensitivity working with a 6-year-old, and I think, you know, you want to have that one to make it okay for him to have an understanding that we're doing pretend, yet at the same time you don't want to go too far where you
can't take it seriously.
You got to be able to take it seriously. But I don't want him to be scarred. That's not good.
We're hoping to provide a refreshing, psychologically terrifying, but emotionally complex film that has a lot of dramatic and storytelling elements, not just gratuitous violence, and have people as frightened in their minds as they are from what they see.
I think it will be a terrifying ride for them, more so than an ordinary horror film, because people will relate to the monster as a victim as well, and that's what makes it really scary. The more you can relate to the bad guy, the villain, the monster, the scarier it becomes.
If I achieve anything with this film, it would be to introduce people back to horror films with storytelling as the primary goal. And it's a lofty ambition, but that's what I'm trying to achieve. And if it's just, you know, if they just get a few scares out of it, then they do. But that's my ultimate goal with it.